Niyorskas bakalım kızlar. Bu bir tür.
So our first student is Professor Professor, and your topic is exploring the concept of security, study of the future tense in English grammar. And her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy Muhammad Ramil Ibrahim.
So good afternoon everyone, good afternoon dear teachers. So my topic is exploring the concept of maturity and the study of future tense in English grammar. So first of all, let me introduce the main topic, futurity. So the topic of futurity is highly relevant for many learners and educators. So many learners struggle to differentiate future forms in a language and leading to errors and such as overusing will or misinterpreting modal verbs meanings. So understanding the nuances of English futurity is essential for improving both grammatical integrity and communicative effectiveness. And furthermore, subtitling, studying how different cultures and languages express futurity can provide valuable insights into cross-linguistic relation and the way different societies perceive time. So this paper aims to explore how futurity is expressed in English and use it in various contexts and with grammatical structures and their meanings and their usage in various contexts. So by addressing both theoretical and practical aspect of the futurity, this study contributes to a deeper understanding of English grammar and its approach to express future time. So, definition and the significance of futurity in a language. So, many languages have grammatical future tense, but English lacks a certain future tense structure. But instead of this, the English uses auxiliary verbs like will and shall. So English doesn't have a future tense structure. So the first arrangement most commonly claims that futurity is expressed via the modal verbs, as I mentioned above, auxiliary verbs like will. So morphologically speaking, English has only two tenses: present tense for a third person with the suffix s, and the past tense with ed ending. So English doesn't have future tense. Then, so the significance of futurity in language. So first of all, if I talk about its importance in a language, it's used to make plans and decisions. So everyday communication, everyday like often insist on arrangements or plans for the future events. So, for example, so in conclusion, futurity is a English. Futurity in English is a highly dynamic and context-dependent phenomenon that requires integrated approach and to both theoretical understanding and practical application. So unlike past or present tenses, uh, which are relatively straightforward in their morphological marking, futurity is conceptualized rather than explicitly encoded, making it one of the most intricate areas of English grammar.
Our next student is Dinia Zlatmila Yukunbayman. The topic is the use of politeness strategies in cross-cultural communication, English versus Karapapa. And her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy of Life and Zan.
Hello everyone, hello dear teachers. My name is Mikhail Kamila. Today I am going to present the graduation project title, the polite strategy in English and Karapapa languages. In this work, I explore how politeness is expressed in two different languages and cultures, and also what we can learn from this comparison to improve communication. Okay, politeness is not just or part of communication, it's something that holds social relationship together, whether we are speaking with friends or teachers, also strangers. Politeness helps us to show respect or avoid conflict and build trust. In Uzbekistan, the importance of learning foreign languages has grown thanks to initiatives like Presidential Decree 5117, which focuses on improving English languages education. However, when we learn a new language, we also need to understand how politeness works in that culture. So that English and Karapak represent two very different culture systems. English is influenced by individualism and where personal space and independence matter, but Karapak is based on collectivism, where respect for elders and traditions is very important. So my goal is to analyze and compare to this politeness strategy in both languages and give practical ideas for language learners and teachers and translators. So my research is based on three important theories. The first theory is Brown and Levision politenesses. They say that they talk about the idea of face because the image we want others to have us, and they describe too many types, positive and negative politenesses. Positive politeness when we want to feel accepted and liked, and negative politenesses it's when we want to avoid the pressure and keep our freedom. The second theory is Jeremy-Rich maxims such as tact or modesty and agreement, and also these principles help speakers to maintain harmony. And the last story is Richard Wants concept of relational works, and he says politeness is not fixed, it depends on a situation or people involved and also the culture. These three stories help explain how politeness work differently in the different society. And in English, politeness is often about not being too direct and respecting the listener's freedom. For example, English speakers use polite structure like "could you please" or "would you mind," etc. They also use heading like "I think maybe" to sound softer. For example, instead of saying "close the window," they would say "would you mind closing the window if it's not too much trouble." And these strategies are influenced by individualism. People want to feel free and not controlled. But in parallel, politeness is built on respect, especially toward elders and on family-based tradition. There is a strong difference between how we speak a child or how we speak to an older person. For example, we use "sen" for younger or closer people, and use "sis" as the elders or the stranger people. We also use kinship terms like "ajaba," "abai," etc. Even when the person is not relative, and this shows conclusion. In conclusion, politeness is like a mirror of society values, and English reflects autonomy and informality, while in Karaoke reflects respect, collectivism, and tradition. Understanding this difference helps teachers teach better, translators translate more accurately, and language learners become more cultural aware. If you want successful international communication, you must go beyond vocabulary and learn how to be polite in different ways. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, questions?
Well, Vinyasa uses politeness strategies in English and Kakapak cultures. What Kakapak literature do you use in your work? What kind of works of Kakapak literature or whose works from Kakapak scientists maybe you use it in your work?
I saw.
Everybody invited us. Thank you for your presentation. My question is, what kind of politeness, just phrases or expressions did you use to show the difference between Karkopak and English culture?
As I mentioned in my presentation, uh, in English, we provide the structure like "could you please" or "would you mind," but in our we use um, in Karaoke, politeness is built on respect and especially toward elders or on a family-based tradition. Um, And
Example proceeds.
for example, we use sin, that is for younger or closer peoples, and sis for elders and strangers. And to kinship terms, we use like ajaba, ajaba, and etc. It's even when the person is not relative. So,
So, so what problems do you face when you compare two languages?
um, problems for me it's our cultures because in English it's
What kind of difference
difference in cultures. What kind of differences in cultures? Because in English it's short and indirect, also on individualism, but in our depends on in our family basic traditions or it's formal and social rules. And so on.
Our next student Lima Ainura Yudhibardasa. Her topic is teaching speech etiquette in a foreign language to high school students. And her scientific advisor is candidate of pedagogical science, British Vasilya Kumulana.
Good afternoon, dear teachers and students. Today my topic is about teaching speech etiquette in a foreign language to high school students. Um, Firstly, my topic includes three main plans. First one is key principles of speech etiquette in foreign languages, and second one practical role plays to practice polite communication, and third one is common mistakes and how to avoid them. Um, Speech etiquette in foreign languages involves respecting cultural norms, practicing politeness, and ensuring clarity. Recognizing cultural differences in greetings, gestures, and communication styles is essential for effective intercultural interactions. Key principles include respect, politeness, and clarity, which vary across cultures but shares the goal of fostering respectful communication. Cultural norms significantly influence speech practices. For example, bowing in Japan convey respect, while Western cultures often prefer handshakes. And respect involves acknowledging cultural differences and adapting speech accordingly. Politeness varies from a formal title to indirect speech depending on cultural context. Clarity ensures messages are understood without misinterpretation. Recognizing these variations helps avoid misunderstanding and promote effective intercultural dialogue. For educators, teaching students to be aware and adapt to these principles fosters respectful, clear, and culturally sensitive communication. Applying speech etiquette in practice, mastering speech etiquette involves employing effective communication strategies, being aware of nonverbal cues, and practicing active listening. These skills help navigate cultural differences and promote respectful, meaningful interactions in a foreign language learning environment. There are communication strategies. Use clear, concise language, maintain an appropriate tone, and practice linguistic humility to ensure respectful and effective exchanges in a foreign language. And second one is nonverbal cues in speech etiquette. Pay attention to eye contact, gestures, and posture, adapting these nonverbal signals to cultural norms of intercultural to foster trust and understanding. And there are also active listening and feedback. Engage in active listening by giving full attention and provide constructive feedback to demonstrate respect and facilitate meaningful dialogue in intercultural contexts. Role plays make learners learning speech etiquette interactive, helping students practice polite communication in real life scenarios. They boost confidence and understanding cultural nuances and foster active participation, making lessons engaging and memorable. Teach students appropriate language and behavior in a diverse social context, enhancing their cultural awareness. For effective role plays, set clear instructions, use realistic scenarios, provide constructive feedback, and create a respectful environment. This encourages active learning and helps students internalize proper speech etiquette. There are two essential types of feedback. First one is constructive feedback, and second one is peer feedback. Effective feedback should be specific, focus on observable behaviors and deliver respectfully. And peer feedback prompts students to assess their own performance and reflect on areas for improvement. Promote a culture where peer feedback is constructive and respectful, enhancing learning and etiquette understanding, encourage collaboration and respectful communication to build confidence and social skills. And there are also common speech etiquette mistakes. Types of mistakes. Common errors include inappropriate greetings, direct translation, and um, and cultural misunderstandings like using formal greetings in formal settings. And importance of awareness. Recognizing mistakes helps improve communication and adapt speech to cultural norms, boosting intercultural competence. In conclusion, these slides summarize key speech etiquette principles, respect, politeness, and clarity, and cultural awareness. It highlights applying this through role playing and listening, avoiding mistakes, and emphasize continuous learning and cultural sensitivity to foster confident, respectful communication. That's all.
Thank you, Angela. My first question, what can you say about the functions of speech etiquette?
Function is to avoid misunderstandings. While communicating is foreign communication. With communication remains foreigners.
Can you provide one example for teaching speech etiquette?
One example.
Yeah.
In order to teach etiquette, we can can use some kind of visual techniques.
So, is organization of teaching speech therapy, cultural development, speech in your second chapter. Organization of teaching speech therapy.
How are you going to teach speech therapy?
So,
Our next student is Kushmat Vasayora Gediatze. Her topic is resentment as an emotional concept in English language culture, a comprehensive analysis.
Questions?
Especially designed for users. Also English questions.
And your scientific advisor is Dr. Philosophy Kushmat
Good morning, dear teachers and students. And today's my presentation will be topic titled resentment as an emotional concept in English language culture as a comprehensive analysis. First of all, introduce words first. Introduction, theoretical foundation of emotional concepts in lingual culture gives some features of concepts in English lingual culture. This study focuses on how resentment, a deep and complex emotion, is expressed through English language and shaped by culture. My research is based on the idea that language does not only reflect our thoughts but also our emotions and shared by cultural experience. In chapter 1 of my thesis, I explored the theoretical background of the study. First, I examined the concept of language culture and terms that shows the strong connection between language and culture. According to modern linguistic people, do not use language, language only to exchange information, but also to express feelings, build relationships, and create cultural meaning. Next, I discussed emotional concepts. Emotions are not only psychological states; they are also influenced by how a society defines and interprets them. Each culture has its own way of expressing emotions. Life interesting because it's a moral emotions that often involves social judgment, personal faith, and memory. I also studied how emotions are classified in linguistics. Cognitive linguistics view emotion as concepts that are stored in human and mind activated by situation. For example, the concept of resentment includes the idea of being wronged, hurt, or treated unfairly. It often stays inside a person for a long time can influence their behaviors. Another important point, chapter 1, was the role of conceptual metaphor. We use metaphors to describe emotion in terms of physical experience. For instance, resentment is often described as something we hold, realize, or keep inside. This shows how language turns invisible feelings into something we control. In chapter 2, I moved on to the practical part of study. I analyzed how the word resentment developed over time from Latin root modern English. The term resentment comes from resentire, which means of to feel again. This origin shows that resentment is a reflective emotion we feel in other and other response to past events. Then I studied how resentment appears in English discourse. I collected examples from literature, media, and daily communication focused on phrases like to harbor resentment, bullying with resentment, bullying resentment, and letting go of resentment. This expression shows how resentment is understood as heavy, hidden, and long-lasting feeling. I also examined metaphorical and idiomatic expressions that include images like heat, pressure, or storage. For example, resentment boiling inside or being boiled deep, such as expressions are based on shared cultural knowledge about how emotions work in the body of and mind. Finally, I analyzed cultural and national difference in how resentment is viewed in English-speaking cultures like the UK and USA. Resentment can be personal or collective. It can relate to injustice in society, workplace problem, or family conflicts. Literature and media often show characters how are driven by resentment affects because of it. In conclusion, my research shows that resentment is not just a simple feeling, it is a meaningful emotional concept that reflects cultural values, social relationships, and personal identity. Studying resentments through language helps us better understand how people think and feel in different cultures. Thank you for your attention.
I have a question. So, what is the subject and object of your research?
Subjects resentment as an emotional concept, uh, different culture or different country, difference between conflicts, problem, war, and origin, and people and objects resentment toward
The concept of resentment itself, yes.
it's
Object or subject.
okay, thank you.
Questions?
Okay, so you're a developer. My question is, what is the difference and similarities between resentment expression of English and Tagalog?
English resentment concept is two difference between cultural and national and in UK and example in UK and USA. For example, concept between people, between country or problem or work, and part concept region of
Our next student is Ayatollah Azadashim Spencer. Her topic is examining the functional characteristics of state verbs in English, and her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Science Abish Abulkazic.
Everyone, I'm Ayuba. So, English is very important for education and employment. Understanding verbs, especially state verbs, helps learners master grammar. The aim of my presentation to analyze the state verbs and classify their types. And there are the two main chapters. The first one is theoretical study of verbs, and the second one is semantic classification of state verbs. Research methods, linguistic analysis, comparison, for examples, and emphasis on tense, usage, and semantic function. A verb is a category of words that is characterized by great semantic richness, besides the diversity of lexical meanings. A verb is supposed to be as a synthesis of various grammatical categories and forms. In its word formation composition, the verb also represents a unique feature in comparison with other parts of speech. Unlike other parts of speech, it has a developed system of prefix in word formation and classification of the verbs. They are the main verbs, auxiliary verbs, state verbs, dynamic verbs, and finite and non-finite forms of the verbs. The types, finite and non-finite forms of the verbs, and regular, irregular verbs. Key class state verbs describe the conditions or states. Dynamic verbs describe actions or processes. So, state verbs typically appear in progressive tenses, express feelings, thoughts, position, or their perceptions. Example: now, like belong, believe, or understand. They are used for the static situations, not active events. Exceptions often involve a shift in meaning, implying temporary or involving states. For example, I think you are right. So, in this example, think is the state verb and it expresses a belief. And the second example, I'm thinking about my future. In this example, dynamic expressing the process of the considering semantic types of state verbs. So the first one is believe, believe, think, now, understand, and the others mean the thought, and the love, hate, prefer, or care means the emotion. And the third one, um, see, hear, feel, and the others mean the senses. And the last one is have, own, contain, and include means the position. Sketch generally avoid continuous tenses. Example, he knows the answer. So this example is the correct, and he is knowing the answer. So this example in the incorrect. Statements are flexible depending on context. They can act dynamically in specific cases, and learners must be aware of meaning shifts, and teachers should focus on meaning shifts and focus on the usage rules and the exceptions. To contain the state verbs play a critical role in English grammar. They help express thoughts, emotions, sense, or their positions. Um, and not all the state verbs follow the strict rules. Further, study and teaching strategies can improve learning outcomes. Thank you for your attention.
So, questions?
Examples which state words that express emotions.
Emotions. Love, hate, like, dislike. They mean the emotions, they express the person's emotions.
When and how you can use your research paper? Why do you do that? While your research work is being done, where you can use your research? The actuality, yeah.
Uh, because we, when we learn the English grammar, state verbs play a vital role in the English grammar, and we we can see the state verbs in the literary or the daily usage. So state verbs are very important for the English grammar.
What is the grammatical significance of the state word? Grammatical significance. Zashita initiative.
For example, in the grammar, we can use the gerund or the infinitive for the state verbs, and when we use the state words in this background, its meaning will be changed. For example, I'm thinking about my future. Uh, in this uh, in this example, we dynamic expression the process of the considering. And the second, I think you are right. Here, this example, state verbs express the belief.
Our next student is Süleyman Poljas Karakulak. His topic is speech as an education instrument, strategies for effective English language learning. And his scientific advisor is Integrated Zoological Science, PBC Madam Campus Environment.
Good afternoon, dear teachers. Thank you for having us today. Today I'm going to bring out my bachelor thesis on SIM called speech as an educational instrument and the strategies for effective English language learning. So today my plan consists of introduction and the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 and the conclusion. So in my introduction section, I will give we will give brief information about speech and the reforms according to the education sector of our country and the actuality and the aims of this theme. So, introduction. Speech is the use of the human voice to express language combining vowel and the consonant sounds into meaningful units like words. Spoken language includes various speech acts like informing, questioning, and the persuading and the directing, which rely on intonation, volume, and the tempo. So, in Uzbekistan, major reforms have been made to improve foreign language education. So, the decree of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan dated May 19, 2021, resolution number 5117 aims to bring foreign language learning to a new level. That means that decree means we should use modern technology and modern methods to improve foreign languages and training skilled specialists. So my actuality also same is in the area of globalization and the international communication. English proficiency has become essential. However, traditional teaching methods often fall in developing strong communication skills. Speech as an educational tool enhance both learning process and the learning outcomes. And the main aim of this paper is to explore and to justify the use of speech as an effective tool in English language learning and to identify strategies for developing learners' speaking skills. So, uh, the next page is importance of speech in English in learning English. So, speech plays a great role in learning English. For example, it helps learners to create to have great conversations and the relationship with among the peers. So, importance of the communication skills, practically application, mastery of and the mastery of grammar and the vocabulary alone is insufficient. Real-world tasks like presentations, discussions, and the fluent conversations require effective communication. Key components of effective communication, linguistic skill that includes correct grammar, pronunciation, intonation, and word usage. Social skills, choosing appropriate speech style, showing politeness, and understanding non-verbal uses. The second chapter offered both theoretical and practical support for the study by reviewing relevant literature on speaking skills such fluency, accuracy, and pronunciation. It also examined various interactive speaking activities like role plays, simulations, and the conversations and storytelling. The third chapter described the research methods. A mixed methods approach was used, combining observations in the classroom with a questionnaire. The participants were intermediate level students who took part in the structured speaking activities over a specific time frame. Speech is a, in conclusion, speech is a vital educational tool in English language learning, going beyond communication to support the critical thinking, memory, motivation, and the social emotional development. This study confirms that speech-centered strategies like storytelling, peer conversations, and the and the debates enhance engagement, collaboration, and the grammar and the supportive environment. So overall, speech transforms language learning into a dynamic, meaningful experience that empowers learners to express, connect, and grow.
Moses, thank you. What is the difference between speech and speaking?
Speech as a speech as a talk that made in advance to deliver to an audience. Speaking is a act and the ability. The process, yeah, process. Speech mostly be the formally and speaking sometimes informal sometimes.
So, Moses, my question is strategies for effective English language learning. So, what strategies we can recommend in order to make our speech more effective in English learning process?
We will recommend to learners to improve our speaking abilities, like for example, interactive speaking activities like role plays, debates, discussions, and peer conversations. So I think these activities plays a great role in speaking.
Thank you.
What is the significance of your work for practice language teaching?
The strategies proposed can be applied by teachers to design speech-based tasks like foster interactive environments and enhance learners' motivation. The findings are useful in schools, language courses, and independent learners.
Our next student is Tepesbayeva Hüseyin Kimisbaykızı. Her topic is discourse analysis in literary translation, understanding and conveying artistic text. And her scientific advisor is Candidate of Philological Science, Hüseyin Vedamettin Sunbayeva.
Good afternoon again. Well, our respected professors and also fellow students and guests. Well, my name is Hüseyin Kimisbaykızı. Well, I'm honored to present the result of my thesis titled Discourse Analysis in Literary Translation and understanding and convey artistic texts. Well, this work was carried out under the guidance of my scientific advisor, as my teacher mentioned. Well, Commission Academic well, then when it comes to say about my work, well, in today's increasingly interconnected and multicultural world, translation plays a vital role in fostering communication and also preserving cultural heritage and promoting a mutual understanding among nations. Also, among the various forms of translation, literary translation occupies a unique and elevated position. Unlike technical or legal translation, literary translation grapples not only with words or sentences but also with artistic textures, emotional depths, and cultural resonance inherent in literary works. And also within this educational and cultural reform, literary translation assumes strategic importance. It is through translated literature that Uzbek readers gain access to global ideas and also artistic forms, and foreign audience discover the richness of our literature, I mean, Karabakh or Uzbek literature, literary heritage. Discourse analysis emerges as an essential tool in ensuring that translators do more than convey meaning. They must also preserve style, tone, and cultural differences in their translation. Well, when it comes to say about the aim of my qualification paper, well, it is about identifying and analyzing the discourse features such as coherence, cohesion, stylistic devices, pragmatic nuances, and cultural references in selected literary text using discourse analysis. And also, it is to explore and evaluate translation strategies that effectively transfer these features from a source text to the target language, ensuring fidelity not only to meaning but also to aesthetic and communicative intent. Okay. Well, to sum up, I would like to say about discourse, the importance of the discourse analysis. Well, discourse analysis have a great part to play in understanding artistic works, and also it can offer great access to readers among the global, among the world. To understand and feel the emotion in this in literary translation with the help of the knowledge of translators.
And our last student is Rimba Azaga Umbaza. Her topic is theoretical principles of integrating computer technologies into foreign language education. And her scientific advisor is Dr. Philosopher Jean-Marc Van Hibet.
Good afternoon, dear teachers and students. My topic is about theoretical principles of integrating computer technologies into foreign language education. My work explores through theoretical principles and practical application of integrating computer technologies in foreign language education. We will delve into how modern information and communication enhance learning, address challenges, and shape the future of language acquisition. Uh, Understanding the concept and the potential of image information technologies, modern society's strengths relies on intellectual capital development through education. Government policy shaping education's future with Uzbekistan's national strategy
emphasizing psychological and pedagogical research for effective learning approaches using modern ICT. Improving school education is crucial as its quality impacts higher education. Uh, Proficiency in multiple foreign languages is essential for success in the fast industrial world, alongside computer skills and the professional expertise. And transmitting provide new information products aiming to generate consistent information for informing decision making. Uh, Internet resources and learning evolution. Internet resources are crucial for language classes, offering practice and enhancing motivation, as they provide high quality instructional material, addresses numerous learning objectives. Education's, education's use online tools and authentic materials. The internet, global computer networks, personal computer first appearing in 1974, made mass production possible in 1988, opening for foreign language education. Uh, Computer lingual didactics engaged in late 1980s, focusing on theoretical issues of computing language instructions. Learning evolution, information, and the electronic technologies involved with the internet, mobile learning extends these mobile devices. These challenges now is utilize exciting internet technologies, identifying which tools best support language acquisition and enhance teaching practices. Uh, Materials and digital technologies hold substantial didactic materials, fostering communicative competence and communication skills. Um, Authentic materials, special tools, application software, and communication tools are commonly used training in information and communication technologies and and literally prepares teachers for both traditional and distance learning. Application of new information technologies in foreign language instruction. Uh, the demands of education, which include effective curriculum mastery and the development of structured abilities, process, evaluate and apply information. Uh, it emphasizes the importance of fostering active engagement and teaching methods with modern information technologies uh, such as computers and the internet highlighted as a key strategy to help education meet these evolving educational challenges. Internet's role in language learning goals. The internet addresses several pedagogical goals by building sustainable motivation, um, simulating critical thinking, and providing authentic materials for real-time communication. Um, it also supports student-centered and differentiated learning approaches despite challenges related for students and discipline. The goal of foreign language teaching is develop communicative competence and practical language skills. In conclusion, using computers and the internet in foreign language teaching makes learning interesting
and prepares students to use language in real life. Technology helps students become more confident and skilled in communication.
Leona, what methods were used to research or to solve the problems in your qualification work? What methods? What is an objective? What is a
Mhm.